Stanley Black Decker's own CEO said Craftsman devolved, from American-made to virtually everything from China. 3 conglomerates now quietly own nearly every tool brand you trust. Only 4 survived, and the collapse began with mergers no one was watching. Between 2005 and 2018, 6 deals quietly rewrote the power tool market. In 2005, Tektronic Industries of Hong Kong finalized its takeover of Milwaukee, once a symbol of American job site toughness. By 2010, Stanley merged with Black & Decker, swallowing up DeWalt, Porter Cable, and Mac Tools in a $4.5 billion all-stock transaction. That same decade, TTY cemented full control of Ryobi, shifting production to China and flooding big-box shelves with budget tools. In 2017, Stanley Black & Decker spent $900 million to snatch up Craftsman from Sears, ending nearly a century of exclusivity and American assembly. Months later, SB&D bought Irwin and Lennox from Newell Brands for another $2 billion, folding even more once independent names under a single roof. Overseas, Bosch quietly acquired Dremel and Freud, expanding its grip on specialty tools. Each deal sailed past regulators with barely a headline, while factories closed, logos stayed, and buyers lost track of who really owned what. By the end of it, 3 conglomerates controlled nearly every tool brand Americans grew up trusting. Donald Allen Jr., CEO of Stanley Black & Decker, admitted in a 2017 earnings call that Craftsman had devolved and migrated from made in America to virtually everything being made in China. That wasn't just talk. In early 2024, the Fort Worth, Texas Craftsman plant shut its doors after failing to meet production targets, leaving hundreds out of work and killing the promise of a return to American-made quality. The data backs up what tradespeople have been saying for years. Warranty service costs at Stanley Black & Decker rose 15% in 2023 alone, while field reports show a spike in failures for both Craftsman and DeWalt tools assembled overseas. Mike Sparky Hernandez, a commercial electrician with 20 years on job sites, puts it bluntly, "The new atomic drills, I burned out 2 in a month. The old XR lasted me 3 years." For professionals like Mike, the message is clear. What used to be built to last is now built to sell, and the people who rely on these tools are paying the price. Cordless tools now account for more than 3/4 of all power tool sales in the United States, driving a market worth $10 billion a year. 3 parent companies, Stanley Black & Decker, Tektronic Industries, and Bosch, control roughly 70% of those sales. The scale of the battery lock-in is staggering. Milwaukee's M18 platform alone supports more than 250 tools, while Ryobi's One Plus ecosystem covers over 300 products. Once a buyer invests in a handful of batteries and chargers, switching brands means starting from scratch. This isn't just a handful of tools. It's an entire market engineered to keep buyers locked in and paying more, year after year. Jenna Lee runs a hardware store in Ohio. She keeps a running tally behind the counter. A single Milwaukee M18 battery now retails for $149.99, up from $89 just 4 years ago. Contractors grumble about the price, but most have no choice. Once you've invested in a platform, you're locked in. One dead battery means either coughing up for a replacement or tossing out every tool you own. Jenna's receipts show customers spending more on batteries and chargers than on the tools themselves. For a crew running 6 drills, that's nearly $1,000 just to keep the lights on. No wonder buyers are desperate for alternatives. Makita stands apart as one of the last independent giants, still owned and operated from Japan. Their cordless tools are hand-assembled in factories that hasn't been gutted or shipped overseas. Sophia Ramirez, who runs a framing crew in Arizona, swears by Makita's XGT drills. 3 years, not a hiccup. If something breaks, they actually fix it. That 3-year warranty means something when the company picks up the phone and honors it. But even Makita isn't immune to price creep, and their United States market share has slipped as conglomerates squeeze out shelf space. Across the Atlantic, Festool takes a different approach. Family-owned in Germany, with a reputation for tools that outlast the tradespeople who buy them. Linda Patel, a Finnish carpenter in Chicago, calls her Festool saw an investment, not an expense. The warranty covers wear and tear, and repairs are usually back in her hands within 48 hours. The catch? Entry price is steep, often north of $400. For those who demand precision and long-term support, Festool delivers. But it's not the answer for every job or every budget. Hilti operates on a different level, Swiss-owned, built for commercial sites, and backed by a service model that puts every other brand to shame. Their tools come with a fleet contract. Pay monthly, get full replacement, no questions asked. For concrete and steel, nothing else lasts as long. Mark Duval, a site foreman in Detroit, keeps a Hilti rotary hammer that has outlasted 3 trucks. But the price is steep, and for most homeowners, it's out of reach. Milwaukee earns a spot here, but only with a warning. The M18 fuel line, brushless, pro-grade, and tested in battery labs for top-tier output, still holds up under real job site abuse. But stray outside the fuel lineup, and you're paying for the name, not the performance. Non-fuel budget models cut corners, and the difference shows up fast in repairs. For professionals, it's fuel or nothing. Everyone else gets stuck with the bill. Skip the nostalgia. Black plus Decker, Ryobi, Craftsman, and Cobalt all trade on old reputations, while delivering short warranties and high failure rates. DeWalt's Atomic series is built for price, not for work. Avoid it. Combo kits at big box stores? Those are battery margin traps, not long-term investments. Don't pay pro prices for disposable tools. 3 conglomerates. Control nearly every tool brand you see. The Craftsman CEO called it devolved, and job sites prove him right. Trust only the few brands that still earn it. Demand better. Speak up below.